Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed online.
Wait a minute. Have you heard the latest about Blake Lively? Because Hollywood's Golden Girl is officially having the most dramatic meltdown of her career. The woman who once seemed untouchable, the epitome of glam and charm, is now being dragged through the mud, and not just by the public, but by the very industry that once adored her. Or at least pretended to. But here's the kicker. This isn't just some minor PR hiccup. No, Blake Lively's reputation is being dismantled brick by brick, and the fallout is so massive even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, can't escape unscathed. So what exactly happened? Buckle up, because this story has everything. Betrayal, lawsuits, power plays, and an epic public backlash that has social media absolutely exploding.
I believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
Let's rewind to the root of all this chaos. The scandal centers around Lively's involvement in the film It Ends With Us, a project that was supposed to be a career highlight. Instead, it's become the most talked about disaster in Hollywood, and not in a good way. It all started with Blake allegedly trying to take over the production, even though she wasn't the director. That's right, she wasn't in the director's chair, but according to reports, she acted as if she was. Fueling the fire is Justin Baldoni, the film's actual director and one of its stars, who has been painted as the victim in this entire ordeal. And let's just say, the receipts he's brought to the table are adding a whole new level of intensity to this feud.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
Now, let's talk about the court of public opinion, because, oh boy, it is not on Blake's side. Fans have completely turned on her with social media in full attack mode. Her follower count is plummeting faster than anyone could have imagined. Since September alone, she's reportedly lost hundreds of thousands of followers. And it's not just her. Ryan Reynolds has been caught in the crossfire, losing a significant number of his audience as well. Imagine having that much star power and still hemorrhaging followers. It's practically unheard of. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the alleged victim in all of this, is glowing in the public eye. His follower count is climbing steadily as people rally behind him and his side of the story.
Creepy Baldoni. Getting close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward. And he says it smells good.
But let's get into the real turning point, the moment that seemed to solidify Blake's downfall. On February 22nd, The Hollywood Reporter released a cover story that sent shockwaves through the industry. What was supposed to be a simple magazine feature turned into a public execution of Blake Lively's image. The cover illustration alone was enough to set the internet ablaze with a cartoon depiction of Blake launching a slingshot at Baldoni. Subtle, not even close. The message was loud and clear. Blake wasn't the victim in this story. She was the aggressor. Inside the article, sources painted a picture of a controlling and manipulated actress who overstepped her role, forcing script changes and disregarding the creative authority of the actual director. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Fans, critics, and even Hollywood insiders took to social media to slam Blake for her alleged behavior. The cover became a meme overnight, and not in a way that worked in her favor.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a... Because that's what it sounded like to the public.
And here's the thing. This cover wasn't just a one-off hit piece. It was the culmination of months of whispers and allegations that had been building around Blake's conduct on set. According to sources, she not only clashed with Baldoni, but also made life difficult for other crew members and co-stars. One insider even claimed that people were scared to speak up against her, fearing the repercussions it might have on their careers. That's a bold accusation, but in Hollywood, where power and influence mean everything, it's not entirely far-fetched. The fact that even her Hollywood friends are reportedly backing away only adds fuel to the fire. And let's not forget her connection to Ryan Reynolds, whose own reputation is now under scrutiny. The once beloved couple has gone from Hollywood royalty to Hollywood's cautionary tale in record time.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
But wait, it gets messier. As if the public backlash wasn't bad enough, Blake's legal troubles are now front and center. She initially filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, accusing him of misconduct and creating a toxic work environment. But Baldoni didn't just sit back and take it. Oh no, he countered with a lawsuit of his own, and let's just say he didn't hold back. Baldoni's legal team has accused Blake of fabricating accusations to cover up her own unprofessional behavior on set. And here's where it gets really juicy. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, has been called a savage by fans for his no-nonsense approach to dismantling Blake's case. Friedman has gone so far as to release evidence that allegedly exposes inconsistencies in Blake's claims. From altered text messages to omitted emails, the details coming to light are painting a very different picture of what happened behind the scenes.
I have got some major scoops. I mean, everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats. So let's jump right in.
And the public is eating it up. Legal analysts have joined the conversation, dissecting every new piece of evidence and tearing apart Blake's case in real time. Social media is flooded with commentary, with bloggers and YouTubers racking up millions of views on videos about the drama. One particularly scathing comment summed it up perfectly. From the very beginning of her career, she's never been a Hollywood darling. She's always been a Hollywood bully. Ouch. And the hits just keep coming. Friedman isn't just defending Baldoni. He's going on the offensive, accusing Blake of trying to rewrite reality and manipulate public opinion. In a particularly damning statement, he called her legal strategy a massive fishing expedition, claiming that her team is desperately trying to find evidence to support what he calls provably false claims.
So I'm just going to very quickly, before I give you all of the tea that I got over the weekend, I'm going to go over the biggest revelations from the filing.
But here's the real kicker. Blake's PR team is failing spectacularly at controlling the narrative. Every move they make seems to backfire, only adding more fuel to the fire. Take, for example, her recent attempt to subpoena Baldoni's phone records and internet history in an effort to prove he orchestrated a smear campaign against her. Instead of garnering sympathy, this move was widely criticized as a desperate attempt to salvage her crumbling case. Baldoni's lawyer called it out immediately, labeling it a fishing expedition that would yield nothing. And honestly, fans seem to agree. The general sentiment online is that Blake is digging herself into a deeper hole with every new legal maneuver. Let's dive deeper, because if you thought the first wave of this drama was explosive, the aftermath is even more chaotic. As Blake Lively's reputation unravels at record speed, her husband Ryan Reynolds is finding himself dragged further into the storm. And honestly, it's starting to look like his attempts to shield Blake are only adding fuel to the fire. The Hollywood power couple, once untouchable in their curated perfection, now seems trapped in a spiral of missteps, bad optics, and growing backlash. But here's the twist. Ryan's involvement might not just be limited to standing by his wife. Some are starting to question whether he played a much bigger role in the chaos than anyone initially imagined. Let's unpack that.
Like, he literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I could just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say.
First off, let's address the elephant in the room, Ryan's silence. For someone who's made a career out of his quick wit and unapologetic honesty, his reluctance to address the allegations against Blake outright is deafening. Sure, he's appeared at a few public outings, most recently with his mom, Tammy Reynolds, in what many interpreted as a damage control photo op. But beyond that, he hasn't exactly defended his wife in a way that feels genuine or convincing. And that's left fans wondering, is he staying quiet because he's being cautious or because there's more to the story?
Genuinely, Steph, if you're watching this, I genuinely don't like Blake Lively. Like, I genuinely know. I've known she's a brat. Nobody's paying me to say this.
The most eyebrow-raising part of Ryan's involvement, though, is his alleged behind-the-scenes interference during the production of It Ends With Us. According to whispers in the industry, and even some claims in Justin Baldoni's legal filings, Ryan wasn't just the supportive husband cheering Blake on from the sidelines. No, he allegedly became directly involved in influencing creative decisions on set. Now, this is where things get particularly messy. Baldoni's camp has suggested that Ryan played a key role in some of the power struggles that plagued the film, often backing Blake's attempts to rewrite scenes and override the director's authority. Think about that for a second. If true, it means Ryan wasn't just a passive observer in Blake's alleged antics. He was actively helping her take control of a production she wasn't even directing.
No one's told me to say this. I think people really didn't like her during those premiere things, and there was no plot against you, okay? Come down from your high horse.
And that's not all. There's been talk of Ryan using his Hollywood clout to shut down dissent. According to Baldoni's lawsuit, there were moments during the film's production when crew members and even some actors felt pressured to side with Blake, knowing that crossing her could mean not only upsetting her, but also alienating Ryan, a man with immense influence in the industry. One insider even claimed that Ryan's name was brought up in conversations as a sort of unspoken threat. The implication: if you didn't play nice with Blake, you might find yourself blacklisted by one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Whether or not this is true, it's certainly painting a troubling picture of how power dynamics may have played out behind the scenes. Fans, of course, are picking up on all of this. And let's just say they are not holding back. Social media is flooded with comments calling Ryan out for what they perceive as complicity. One fan wrote, "Reynolds isn't innocent. He uses a huge cinema franchise to ridicule Baldoni, to cosplay destroying him. And he was helped by Hugh Jackman, another cheater, and the rest of the staff were cowards and just watched. Glad it wasn't them. While the mention of Hugh Jackman might be a bit of a stretch, the sentiment is clear. People are starting to see Ryan as more than just an innocent bystander. In fact, some are questioning whether his good guy persona is just that, a persona.
Now you have two sides here, right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment.
But here's the kicker. Ryan's attempts to support Blake haven't just backfired in the court of public opinion. They're also creating real consequences for his career. Let's not forget, Ryan is one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. His Deadpool franchise alone has made him a household name and a favorite among fans and studios alike. But now, there are whispers that his association with Blake's scandal is starting to make some studios nervous. And honestly, can you blame them? This isn't just a small PR hiccup. It's a full-blown crisis that shows no signs of slowing down. If Ryan's name continues to get dragged into the mess, it could jeopardize not just his upcoming projects, but also his long-term reputation in an industry that thrives on public favor.
Lively's team has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing, this lawsuit, saying,
And then there's the issue of his own behavior. While Ryan hasn't been directly accused of any wrongdoing, his actions, or lack thereof, are raising eyebrows. Take, for example, his decision to skip this year's Critics' Choice Awards. While some might see this as a strategic move to avoid the spotlight, others see it as a missed opportunity to address the elephant in the room. The absence only fueled speculation about the state of his marriage and his involvement in Blake's alleged power plays. Was he staying home in solidarity with Blake, or was he simply trying to avoid further scrutiny? Either way, it wasn't a good look. Speaking of their marriage, let's talk about how this scandal is affecting the public perception of Ryan and Blake as a couple. For years, they've been Hollywood's golden pair, always quick with a joke, always perk with a joke, always perfectly styled, always seemingly insane. But now, cracks are starting to show. Some fans have even gone so far as to suggest that Ryan's loyalty to Blake is less about love and more about protecting their brand. After all, the two have built an entire empire on their relationship, from their joint ventures to their carefully curated social media presence. If their image as a couple collapses, so does a significant part of their appeal in Hollywood. And let's be real, if there's one thing Hollywood hates, it's a broken illusion.
His career, he has been a major proponent of feminism, of healthy masculinity. How does it feel for him, though?
But the most fascinating part of all this might be the role of their inner circle. Blake's friendship with Taylor Swift, for instance, has been a hot topic of discussion. There have been rumors that Taylor is distancing herself from the couple to avoid getting dragged into their drama, although insiders close to Swift have denied this. Still, the fact that Taylor's name keeps coming up in connection to this mess is telling. It shows just how far-reaching the consequences of this scandal are, affecting not just Blake and Ryan, but also their wider network of friends and collaborators.
Shutting down a woman's claims.
She is claiming that there was sexual harassment. He's saying none of it is true, never happened, never did.
And let's not forget the legal implications. Ryan's name has come up multiple times in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, with claims that he was complicit in efforts to damage Baldoni's reputation. Whether or not these allegations hold any weight remains to be seen, but the fact that they're even being discussed is enough to cause serious damage. And with the trial date set for March 2026, this isn't going to go away anytime soon. So where does all of this leave Ryan Reynolds? Well, it's clear that his attempts to support Blake have done more harm than good. And while he might not be at the center of the scandal, his involvement, both real and perceived, is making it increasingly difficult for him to maintain the squeaky clean image he spent years cultivating. The question now is whether Ryan can distance himself from the drama enough to protect his career, or if he'll continue to be dragged down alongside Blake. One thing's for sure, this isn't just Blake's battle anymore. It's Ryan's, too.
That Justin won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So his lawyer told us that their recent court filings show how scared they are.
And just when you think it couldn't get messier, it does. Because as Ryan tries to navigate the fallout, Justin Baldoni is out here playing the long game. While Ryan and Blake are scrambling to salvage their reputations, Baldoni is letting the evidence and public sympathy do the work for him. And honestly, it's working. Fans are rallying behind Baldoni, seeing him as the victim of a powerful Hollywood couple gone rogue. Meanwhile, Ryan and Blake are left to deal with the consequences of their actions. Or, in Ryan's case, his inaction. As Blake Lively's scandal continues to unfold, it's clear that the fallout is far from over. But what do you think? Is Blake Lively's career beyond redemption? Or can she bounce back from this controversy? And what about Ryan Reynolds? Is his involvement a sign of loyalty or complicity? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and updates